Cheers, Dan. The sun's shining up here in the northeast, but don't let that fool anybody. It's chilly here, even by northeast standards. Credit to the Millwall fans who are hidden up in the top tier away to our left. Goodness knows what time they got up this morning to make it all the way up here to the northeast coast of England. We're awaiting the teams out, and as Mickey said earlier, there's a big crowd already building up here at the Stadium of Light. No doubt once they've been here, they'll be going home and listening to TalkSport's coverage of the World Cup that continues this afternoon. But for now, it's back to reality for these two. After breaks away for both Sunderland and Millwall, it's back to the bread and butter of the Championship. And both sides well set. A win for Sunderland puts them within a point of the playoffs, and a win for Millwall moves them closer to the top two. The red and white of Sunderland are coming out down below us. The blue and white of Millwall. And Mickey Gray, we're looking forward to this. Two teams that like to play. It's going to be a decent game.
Well, we hope so, don't we, Mark? I mean, Championship is a league that you want to watch every single week. It's so exciting just having a look at the league table. Sunderland win today takes them a point behind Millwall, who are in those playoff positions. That's how tight this division is. And if you think about it, Sunderland are in 15th spot and Millwall in 6th. It's just so exciting every single week. Of course, we've missed it over the last couple of weeks, but it's back now. And what a game to start this Championship season back off again.
Well, we normally say it's the Championship where all the crazy things happen, but it has been the World Cup, hasn't it, in recent weeks. Let's hope the action continues thick and fast. What a day of sport it is. As Dan was telling you, Netherlands, USA at 3 o'clock, Argentina, Australia at 7, and of course the boxing. Tyson Fury takes on Derek Chisora tonight. You'll hear all the build-up to that one, all the undercard on TalkSport 2 from 7, and then on 9 o'clock it's on TalkSport, the main event there. What about the main event here then? Sunderland, they go with Anthony Patterson in goal, a back four of Gooch, O'Nien, Bart and Alese. It's Evans and Neil holding in the middle, with Diallo, Pritchard and Clark behind Ellis Sims, who starts up top. Still no Ross Stewart for the home side. George Long is in goal for Millwall. Wallace, Cooper, Cresswell and McNamara the back four. George Saville and Billy Mitchell the holding midfielders, with Vogelslammer, Fleming and the former Sunderland man George Honeyman just behind Tom Bradshaw, who starts up top. On the bench for the Black Cats, Dejaku, Barr, Embleton, Roberts, Sirkin, Hume and Bass. And for the visitors, Bennett, Stiles, Evans, Shackleton, Malone, Hutchinson and Bielkowski. What are you expecting game-wise today, Mickey?
A fast start. I think you've got two sides in front of you who, lack of game time over the last couple of weeks, the adrenaline will be pumping through them like it probably does on the first day of every single season, Mark. It's like starting over again. We're into the unknown. It's something that we're not really used to. Coming into that December period, which we know is a hugely important time for every club in the Championship, and these two in front of us have got big ambitions.
They have indeed. The red and white shirts, the black shorts, the Red Sox of Sunderland. Their goalkeeper Patterson away to our left is in yellow, and it's the dark blue shirts, the white shorts and the blue socks of Millwall. Their goalkeeper George Long, all in green, away to our right hand side. We await the first whistle and we are underway. The Championship is back on TalkSport, and we're underway at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland chasing the top 6. Millwall with eyes on the top 2. Who will come out here on top this afternoon? Well, we will find out. We'll bring you the goals as well from around the Football League. TalkSport 2, your home of the EFL, of course. And Long will knock it long, and downfield he's looking to get it to Bradshaw, who's beaten in the air. And it's Millwall who will get it down for the first time, and they will advance down their right-hand side, looking to get the ball into Bradshaw. Lays it out wide on the right-hand side. Dangerous ball. It just falls behind a couple of Millwall attackers. It's laid back here, and there's a chance to recycle possession. Wallace it was, who was more of a shot than a cross, and the ball bounces up to the halfway line, and Millwall have got it back, and it's a bright start from the visitors. And that's a great ball out wide on the right. There are 4 waiting in the middle for the cross. Again, it deflects off the first man. Can they bring it down edge of the area? They're trying to work it for an opening here. It'll fall 25 yards out. Sunderland finally get it back. Mickey Gray, that was a bright start from the Lions.
Well, Sunderland need to settle themselves down, because it's a great start from Millwall.
Well, here comes Long racing out of his area. Ellis Sims was chasing a long, hopeful ball forward, and Long did well to head it out on this near side.
Yeah, I would say great start from Millwall, certainly down that right-hand side with Vogelslammer and Bradshaw. A couple of times he put some great balls into the area of Vogelslammer, and it was Bradshaw who was waiting. He got on the first one, just couldn't get himself on the half turn. I'm just trying to have a look at this Sunderland system, Mark, and I'm not quite sure. It's a flat back four at the moment, but at times Jack Clarke is drifting back on that left-hand side and making himself more of a wing-back. So I wonder if that's something worth looking at as this game goes on. But certainly Sunderland need to settle themselves down and try and find a little bit of confidence. Just get hold of that ball, get your first touch on it, just calm your nerves a little bit.
Well, they've won it back in the centre of the field, Sunderland here, and they're looking to move it out wide, and here is Jack Clarke now. He's cutting inside onto his right foot. He squares the ball away to Neil. Neil had room to shot. He plays it into Gooch, edge of the area. Gooch on his left foot, then works it back onto his right, but good defending from Millwall. Just push him out of the danger area, but they'll get the ball back. Diallo has it. He's looking for the give and go, but it's won back on the edge of the Millwall area. Millwall now will just look to go towards halfway, and both sides early on setting out their stall here for attacking footballers. Honeyman there, that's a crunching tackle, and it was 09 I think that got hold of Honeyman there, and that was a strong tackle early on here. Still 0-0.
Oh, well, there's the Championship welcome back. I mean, that was a proper old school 50-50, wasn't it? But the best move for Sunderland, worked it really well over to the right hand side. Just wonder, as that ball came out to Lyndon Gooch, he had the chance just to whip it in with his right foot. First time he lost that opportunity. A couple of little step overs, had to come back out, and this is where this foulers eventually came from. Yeah,
the free kick right on the halfway line, just about 6 or 7 yards in from the left touch line. Wallace is going to take it. Sunderland are almost defending a high line midway inside their own half. The ball will go inside the area though, and it's going to fall here, edge of the area. Trying to pick it up on the edge of the 18-yard box there was Mitchell. He got it back. Wallace is going to get another go to stand up the cross. It's headed down into the D, and that wasn't the worst header down there, but it's cleared away by Sunderland. Although they can't quite clear their lines, they should get the chance now, but they've just overrun it again. And in down the near side here is Fleming. Fleming goes past one into the area, squares it back, and again there's nobody there in a blue shirt, and Sunderland poke it clear, and Sims on the edge of the centre circle will look to launch a counter-attack, but Diallo, if he could have taken that pass in his stride, would have had a chance to get it away. Well, Millwall are throwing everybody forward here, but they just can't find that ball into the box. Mickey Gray.
No, they can't. That's Zian Fleming this time. Great feet. He actually beat the first man, put a decent enough ball into the area, but you're looking for players to circle the D of the 18-yard box, and there was just nobody there. Sunderland need to just readdress, calm themselves down, because at the minute it's so scrappy. They're giving the ball away, haven't started this game at all well.
No, they haven't. Still 0-0 here. The Championship is back on TalkSport 2. Just over 4.5 minutes gone here, and it remains goalless at the Stadium of Light.
What they have to do, Mark, as well. I mean, now we've got Ellis Sims back in the starting 11. You know, he's a big, tall, strong guy. I think, you know, if you're finding it difficult in your back line, just try and get the ball up to your centre forward. Let him hold it up. He did actually get a hold of the ball and tried to play a ball out to the right-hand side. I think it was to Diallo. But there was just too much pace on it for Diallo to actually bring the ball down. And that sums up the first 5 minutes of the game for Sunderland.
Yeah, it does indeed. Just had a blow of the whistle, and it's Honeyman this time who's penalised for a foul on the near side, and Sunderland have a free kick in their right back position about 20 yards out from the corner flag. And Anthony Patterson is going to come across and take it. Wanders across in his all-yellow goalkeeping strip. The sun beaming down over on the far corner of the ground. And it remains 0-0 here. We'll keep you up to date with any goals as they go in the other games around the EFL. But the ball about to be launched downfield. You could throw a blanket over the players. They're all stood over on the far side. All 20 of the outfield players. Millwall win the header. Bradshaw was the target, beaten in the air, but he's going to win a free kick here. And I have to say, the referee's been quite picky early on, Mickey, with regards to a couple of fouls here. It's Tim Robinson, the man in the middle. Yeah,
you think he'd been watching the World Cup, wouldn't you, Mark? The amount of fouls that he's given early on in this game. Well, I think he has to have a realisation and remember, we're in the Championship. It's physical. We're going to get those battles. We're coming together. You just mentioned about the players throwing a blanket over them, Mark. I don't think they'd mind that at the moment. It's that cold.
Yeah, it is. Free kick's going to be knocked into the edge of the Sunderland area. There's a scrimmage of bodies. A Millwall player went down on the edge of the area. Ball headed back. Diallo, they might nick it away. Now, he's brought down on the halfway line, but the referee said that was a natural coming together. The 30-odd thousand Sunderland fans don't agree with him. What do you say, Mickey Gray?
I mean, what does Diallo have to do? He's done brilliantly, actually. He's got away from his marker. I think it's Billy Mitchell, the guy in the centre circle, who just holds his ground. He knows that he's lost the ball. Diallo does brilliantly. Has to be a foul, surely.
Well, it looked like it. Ball over on the Sunderland left-hand side, but they've conceded a throw-in just inside their own half. And Millwall will get it down and look to build again. Here's Cooper. Cooper just rolls it out to Wallace on this near side. He puts the ball down the left-hand side. And, well, Sunderland should have won that. That was a bit lethargic there from Sunderland, and Millwall will get the ball deep inside their own half. But they look lively. I think it's fair to say that, the visitors at the moment. There's a little bit more purpose about them, as they have it over on the far side, and they've won yet another free kick. It was a challenge over on the far side. I think Jack Clark was the player involved this time.
Yeah, it was. Jack Clark, I mean, the ball was bouncing towards the Millwall player, and Jack Clark's just kind of leapt off the ground. He did win the ball, but I think it was more to do with the follow-through. Well, the referee has obviously had to put the whistle to his mouth. Just interesting, Mark, isn't it? Millwall, I think, stayed in the UK. I think they had a friendly game at home against Bromby. And Sunderland have obviously been on their travels. You just wonder whether Sunderland are just finding a little bit longer just to settle back into the English weather.
Yeah, maybe. He's Honeyman wide on the right-hand side. He's played here many times, of course, in the red and white of Sunderland. The referee now is having a word down below us with a couple of the players. Looks like Cooper, who he's having a word with. Cooper towering over the referee and Lyndon Gooch, who stood in front of him. And the fans don't come to see this.
No.
If he's got something to say, referee, say it. Let's get on with the game.
Yeah, you're completely right. Look, it's not the warmest of days, as we already mentioned. Just get the flow of the game going. The players want to get on with it.
Well, here comes the ball whipped in. That's a better ball. Keeper came for it, and he's got lucky there. Millwall are screaming for a penalty. The ball went over everybody. Well, Patterson came wandering out, and he got nowhere near it.
He was very fortunate there, Mark. It's a great ball into the area. And as Patterson came out to the edge of his 6-yard area, there was no way he was getting anywhere near that ball, and just needed any kind of contact from the Millwall players. And this is probably why they surrounded the referee and asked the question of why they haven't been given a foul. I think the flow, just mentioned it before, it's really scrappy, isn't it? Stop-start. Millwall have definitely settled the better of the sides, but this game needs to spring into life.
It does. It is still 0-0 here. You're live on TalkSport 2, Dan Windle, taking you through all the afternoon's excitement as we build up across on TalkSport to the first of the last 16 knockout games. Netherlands against the USA. And the ball back to George Long, who's basically been stood on his own for the opening 10 minutes or so of this game. Sunderland, well, there's a player gone down here, and it's Bradshaw who's challenged the Sunderland player, went down really heavily there, and this time the referee will call on the physios, and he's laying face down. Hopefully, though, just getting back to his feet now, and that looked a bit of a naughty one there.
Yeah. Well, if he gets away with this one, Bradshaw, Danny Bath is the Sunderland player who's gone to ground.
And there's blood there, Mickey, as well.
Yeah, straight away. Soon you could see the contact straight away, couldn't you? He turned his head to the side. He had no intent of heading the ball after the contact came, and Bradshaw just having a word, the referee's alongside him. I think he's going to get away with this one. Well, he's just saying that he leaped up with his arms. He's having a word with a couple of the Sunderland players to say he's just jumped up to get higher than his marker. But I'm not too sure. I think there was a bit of malice in that one, I have to say.
Well, the referee, again, is just having a word with the players at the moment. There's obviously clearly plenty of blood coming out of Danny Bath's nose or his mouth area, because the physio is wiping it away, and just wondering if this could be the old cotton wool up the nose trick here. But he went down really heavily, and clearly there was some contact. Tom Bradshaw, in fairness, is coming over just to check that his opponent, and he has offered a hand, and that hand has been shook, so we'll get on with it. Danny Bath's a tough centre-half, isn't he? He knows it comes in the Championship. It's part of the business, isn't it?
No,
you're going to get a bump in the head now and again.
Absolutely. That's what Championship football's all about, and if you're playing as a centre-half, you know that physicality is going to be there, and Tom Bradshaw is no shrinking violet, is he? I mean, he's a strong, bustling centre forward who's going to put himself around a little bit. But again, it's the early stages in the game, isn't it, where we've seen a few 50-50 challenges, honest challenges, I have to say. But this one, I think when you see a player go down to ground like that, I was just hoping that the referee, Tim Robinson, was a little bit closer to the incident just to see exactly what he would have done. I think he's just basically blew for the foul, not knowing that there was a flailing arm. And Danny Bath found himself on the ground, but it's going to be a sore one for the rest of the game, I'm sure, but he'll want to carry on.
Yeah, well, indeed. The monitors are not on today at the Stadium of Light, which is unusual here, so we don't have a replay. He's going to come off to the near side. He might have to change his shirt. And in the World Cup, where we've seen huge amounts of injury time, well, we might be seeing the same today at the Stadium of Light. We've had 12 minutes on the clock, but the ball's been out of play for about 3 or 4 of those so far. As Danny Bart gets stripped and a new fresh shirt on down at pitch side, and it will be a free kick, and only a free kick for Sunderland. And again, all the players converge over to that far side. Lyndon Gooch for a moment threatened to break out on this near side, and the ball is thumped over there, and Sims is going to do well to keep that in. In fact, had gone out of play before he got the header on it, and that just seemed a little bit of a waste at the moment for Sunderland. But it is still 0-0 if you've just joined us. The former Sunderland and England defender Mickey Gray is alongside us on TalkSport. So your opening thoughts of the opening 12 minutes?
Well, the positive thing from a Sunderland perspective is it's still 0-0, albeit Millwall haven't really created that one great opportunity. They've certainly settled into the game a lot quicker than what Sunderland have. They've looked really strong down that right hand side with Vogslammer and Bradshaw getting himself into the area on a couple of occasions.
Well, here the ball back inside the Sunderland penalty area. Patterson will play his way out, and he's actually done really well. And he's got Gooch now, who comes up to halfway, and Gooch maybe didn't trust himself there. He had the ball in front of him. He could have advanced forward, but Honeyman was bearing down, and in the end he went backwards. Much the angst there of the Sunderland fans. They wanted to see a little bit more direct play from Sunderland. They've not really had too much attacking threat in this opening passage of play, and they've got it now wide on their right. Gooch has got it again. He'll go back into the centre circle. That's not the best pass to Neil, and he's had it nicked away from him. And Millwall now will look to go forward over on the far side, and that's Danny McNamara goes past his man. He's continued his run here, and McNamara's got in behind the Sunderland defence. Bradshaw's screaming for it in the middle. It may go to the far post. It's laid back by Fleming. Big chance for Honeyman, and he's blocked 6 yards out and just goes the wrong side of the post from a Millwall perspective. It's behind for a corner, but that was a great chance.
Fantastic. Excellent play from Millwall. Being patient, waiting for the runs of their teammates. They work it ever so well down that right-hand side. Bradshaw puts a beautiful ball into the area, and that little pullback for George Hunningham was just on a play. Great defending, I have to say, in the end. But is that the scare that Sunderland needed?
Ball whipped in towards the far post from the corner, headed towards goal, headed on the 6-yard line. He's still bouncing around 8 yards out. Cooper had a shot, that came off a defender. It's put back in by Honeyman, attacking at the far post. It'll fall, another shot comes in, edge of the area, and then he's volleyed straight at the goalkeeper. And it was Cooper, the defender, who got the touch on it, but it was straight at Patterson, and Sunderland survived. Still 0-0.
Well, again, it's super play from Millwall, a lot of pressure, and you could just sense a goal, can't you, Mark? The last few minutes, Millwall certainly on top. And how many lifelines, how many scares do you need in front of that Sunderland goal? The 18-yard area, not clear in their lines, not settled into this game at all. Just got to pull themselves together, give themselves a little bit of a shake, because the football at the minute is absolutely terrible.
It is indeed. Ball goes back. Sunderland have got it, and they'll move it out wide over on their left-hand side. Jack Clark is bundled over. That'll be a welcome free kick for Sunderland on that far side, and they'll take it quickly, and they'll look now with Danny Bart to get the ball moving. O'Nien has it as he comes over the halfway line. O'Nien now just spreads it out wide down below us to Lyndon Gooch. Gooch looks for the give and go, but that's too easy, and it's stolen by Millwall, and they'll come forward with Saville, and he ran into his own player there on the halfway line. Sunderland won about. How can that be a foul? The Millwall player fouled his own player, and they've got a free kick.
That's absolutely ridiculous. It's George Honeyman, I think, who's the man who's gone down to ground. But you're right, the contact comes from his own player. The ball falls to Diallo. They're just about to break forward. Well, I don't really judge referees too much this early on in the game, Mark, but this Tim Robinson, he needs to give himself a shake himself. He's having an absolute nightmare. Things that should be letting go, he's blown up for. Other things that he's given fouls for, he's just getting everything completely wrong.
Ball towards the edge of the Sunderland penalty area again. It's bouncing around. Sunderland, again, miss a chance to clear it. It's picked up again by Honeyman. And out on the far side now, they'll play it wide right. That was Billy Mitchell, whose pass was just cut out midway inside the Sunderland half. If you just joined us, 0-0 at the Stadium of Light, but it's Millwall who are dominating everything here at the moment. The game being played predominantly away to our left-hand side here from a high vantage point right at the back of the main stand here at the Stadium of Light. Millwall have it wide on the right. Can they engineer a cross? They do, but it comes off a defender and it's out for another corner. And Sunderland will be worried here, Mickey, because they just can't get the ball cleanly out of their own area at the moment.
Absolutely right. It's been all Millwall, a lot of possession, look really strong. Volkslammer again winning his side. A corner looks a real live wire on that right hand side. I'm just wondering whether Tony Mowbray needs to look at this system and change it very quickly.
Yeah, Millwall have got it over on the far side. It's drilled towards the back post. Cooper gets up high, and I think the referee and the linesman on the far side have deemed that went out of play from Honeyman before it came back into play. So a let off for Sunderland, who get a goal kick here. It is Sunderland 0, Millwall 0. Approaching 18 minutes on the clock, live on TalkSport 2, and Sunderland have got a chance to play their way out.
Yeah, they have, but I think at the moment, Mark, the way they've been passing the ball around, do not overplay. As you bowler, Elise just got a one on the back of the head there from Jake Cooper, who looks a real threat in both boxes. He's had a couple of opportunities, hasn't he, the Millwall centre-half. One fell to his feet, which was blocked very well by Sunderland, but threats all over the place from Millwall, and they are playing ever so well.
Yeah, Ellis Sims just got it on the far side, but he was just simply outnumbered by blue shirts. And now a long ball over the top. Bradshaw tried to cushion the header down, and it'll be picked up by Gooch. He'll go back, and they'll go back to their goalkeeper, Patterson. And he's got it on the penalty spot. Plays it away over on the far side. Elise brings it forward, finds Sims on halfway, back to goal, tries to bring Elise into it. Clark tried to play it down the touchline to find him. There's another coming together, and there's another, what the fans feel is a soft free kick. Billy Mitchell's applauding the referee's decision on halfway. Jack Clark is not applauding the referee at all.
No, he's not, but it was a foul this time. Jack Clark, just a little tug on the shirt. Referee blew his whistle, and rightly so. I think the problem that Sunderland have had, Mark, is Millwall, even without the ball, their press is absolutely superb. Whenever they lose the ball, they're in the faces of the Sunderland players. They're not giving them a second on it to try and get the ball down and play the stylish football that we've come to see over the last few seasons at Sunderland. And you get found out in the Championship. If you are not on it and you're not at it, when that whistle blows, the away side is certainly on top.
Wallace plays it into the edge of the area. It's headed down again by Cooper, but this time Sunderland will clear it away. And now they've won a free kick, and the ironic cheer goes around the ground. 20 minutes almost on the clock here, still 0-0, but the game, as often you get after a break, it's just struggling to get going as a contest. But Millwall are the better team by a far at the moment. Well, they still await the first goal back after that World Cup break. Here now is Ellis Sims down the channel, felt he was impeded. Cooper this time doing the defending, and Millwall will look to play it out, and that was risky from McNamara on the far side, but backed his skill on the edge of his own 6-yard box. And now here forward come the visitors, and it's Fleming who's got it. He gets it out wide right. Again, Millwall enjoying a bit of room. Cross comes in. Honeyman couldn't take it in his stride, and in the end it rather bounced off the Millwall midfielder and behind for a goal kick. But they're having a lot of joy, Millwall, down that right hand side.
Where they are. And this is why I talk about the system that Sunderland are playing. We talked about Jack Clark sometimes coming back and being more of a wing-back. Well, Alessi's over there on the left-hand side now. He's been isolated. And that's why Millwall are getting out so much down that right-hand side, because anytime the ball is over there, it's Alessi going out to the right winger, and then the full-back, if he overlaps, it's just in acres of space.
Sims everywhere he goes at the moment. Jake Cooper's following him. Sims has got it though now, and he tries to feed it down this near side. Gooch is caught. This is going to be a free kick, 25 yards out, right hand side of the penalty area, and we're going to get, I think, the first yellow card. And it goes to Saville, the former Middlesbrough man.
Yeah, I mean, Saville's made that foul there. It's probably the best move of the game so far for Sunderland. And we're in 21 minutes now. Saville comes across and he just lunges towards that ball there. Lyndon Gooch, who initially in the game so far, everything has gone backwards, but this time shows a bit of positivity, tries to take on Saville. And there was contact there, but, you know, the fouls that we've seen and the challenge we've seen so far, Mark, I have to say, I think it's a bit of a harsh yellow card. I've got to be completely honest with you, but it gives Sunderland a great opportunity from a super angle with Diallo and Pritchard standing over the ball to put in a very dangerous cross.
Ball going to be whipped in down below us. Diallo is there, but it's going to be Pritchard who fires it in. Ball balloons up in the air, edge of the area. Brought down by Vogslammer and laid back, and they'll play it forward, but it's picked up here by O'Nien. O'Nien comes out wide. Diallo has it. Little step over, just lost control of it. Referee again has given a free kick, this time against Honeyman. And Diallo at the moment, he's not quite up with the pace of the game, is he? He's had a couple of touches that's just invited the Millwall defence to come and take it off him. Yeah,
you're completely right. I think you could say that about every single individual Sunderland player. They're just not at the races at the moment. It's not working for them. You've got to dig deep. If things aren't working for you, you've got to try and find something inside you.
Well, Pritchard again, just probably about 5 yards to the right of the penalty area, nearly 30 yards out. He's going to float in a right-footed cross, but float it in. He's drilled it straight into the arms of the goalkeeper, and it remains 0-0. And when you're feeding on scraps, it's opportunities like that, Mickey. You just need to put a bit of quality into the area, and who knows what could happen.
Absolutely. Look, I know they're obviously the second best side in front of us right now, but when you get opportunities like that, a free hit to put the ball into the area, it has to be better.
Still 0-0 here on TalkSport 2. The championship is back as Bradshaw bundles over and he's headed it over the goalkeeper. And it's cleared off the line. It was a long ball forward. It was a coming together, and Bradshaw just headed it over. The goalkeeper was rushing out, and thankfully for him there was someone to clear it off the line, and Millwall can't control it. It goes through. Listen to the reaction here at the Stadium of Light. They are not having this opening 25 minutes.
Mark, this is one of the things, right, and I really respect Tony Mowbray as a manager, and he's a very experienced man, but he never gets too irate. But he must be boiling up inside the way he's seeing Sunderland perform right now. I mean, situations like that. It's your goalkeeper on 2 occasions now. He's come out of his 6-yard area. His decision-making's been really poor, Anthony Patterson. Bradshaw thinks he scored. And thankfully for Sunderland, the defenders get on the goal line and they clear the lines to help out Sunderland to keep this at 0-0. It has been awful. But Tony Mowbray needs to get a message onto the players. Again, as I'm speaking, simple passes, giving the ball away. This is as scrappy as I've seen them for a long, long time.
That was just one long ball forward. Bradshaw out-battled the centre-half, and as the keeper came rushing out, it looked like all he had to do was head it over him. He did that, but credit to the covering defender to get it away. We've had just short of 25 minutes of the Stadium of Light live on TalkSport 2. Don't forget, triple header of live football today. We've got 2 games from the World Cup. We'll come to those in a minute because Sunderland have got a rare attack. Clark over on the far side, lays it back now. Unless he's got a chance to put the cross in, he cuts in field, then he lays it off. They're about 40 yards out from goal, and again it's given away by Diallo. It was a loose pass, and now they should play their way out of trouble. And Wallace, and again McNamara. Now McNamara, that was risky, and Wallace has dug him out of a hole there. But here they go down the left-hand side, and had the passer been better, then Fleming would have been away, but Honeyman's nicked it back. It's so loose at the moment. Both sides guilty of not respecting possession. Zian Fleming has it. He gets it back. And now Wallace, who really rescued McNamara on the edge of his own area a few moments ago, gets it away. And they'll move the ball out wide. Cresswell, the Leeds loanee, moves it out onto the far side. And Millwall finally have it back under their spell. And they'll knock it long, but unless should clear it away. It skims off his head, and Danny Bart is there to sweep up. But both sides at the moment just need to up their skill levels as Pritchard moves it wide. Clark goes now. He's running at McNamara, who's backing off. Clark into the area. Great challenge, McNamara. What a tackle from the fullback. He gets that wrong. It would have been a penalty. He puts it out for a throw-in.
Yeah, 1v1 situation. Absolutely brilliant. McNamara alongside Jack Clark there gets a high five from Charlie Cresswell, his centre-half. He knows how important that challenge was. Jack Clark was trying to get himself to the edge of the 18-yard area, maybe make a foul, but it never came. Sunderland still on the attack. This is better.
Yeah, what can they produce? Pritchard on it on the far side, level with the edge of the box, left-hand side of the field as Sunderland attack away to our right. They're trying to work an opening here. There could be a chance for a shot from distance. It was Dan Neal who pulled the trigger, but it balloons off a dark blue shirt and back over on the far side to Jack Clark. Clark gets it away to Luke O'Nien. He's in the centre circle, moves it down this near side, and the ball just nudged forward by Corey Evans. And Sunderland now are playing a bit of keep ball. 27 on the clock. 0-0 live on TalkSport 2. Don't forget 3 o'clock, Netherlands, USA on TalkSport. As the ball now works its way to Pritchard, who's found himself in a bit of space. He goes past one. Was he fouled edge of the area? He was. And now it's Millwall who are not unhappy. Sorry about that one. But that was better from Pritchard. We know he's got that skill close to goal, and that was a lovely sidestep that drew the foul.
Yeah, the way they should have actually started the game, Sunderland, they were very patient. They kept the ball across the back, from right back across to left back. They played a lovely little ball into Pritchard's feet. We know he's very clever on the half turn. Just gets away from Charlie Cresswell, who just gives him that little bit of a nudge. I mean, it's a great area for a free kick, isn't it? What, we're 19 and a half, 20 yards out. I'm just wondering, Matt, is this just a little bit too close to get it over the top of a wall and dipped in behind him underneath that crossbar? I'm sure they're going to take the strike on. It is Pritchard and I think Diallo yet again who stood over the ball. But it's been better. The last minute from Sunderland, the football, the patience, got themselves into a much better position.
Yeah, 20 yards out, as you said, Mickey. It's just to the left of goal, probably about 5 yards to the left of the corner of the D. There's a 5-man Millwall wall stood in front of Pritchard and Diallo. Who will it be? Will it be the right foot of Pritchard or the left foot of Diallo? Long waits. Here comes Pritchard, hits it low and it got deflected away. It wasn't the wall, it was past the wall, but it was cleared partially away. Sunderland will recycle. Wide on their left-hand side. Cross comes in from Alessi, and it'll fall on the volley. Back bounce in the area, and in the end, Millwall are happy to scramble this away, and it's going to go out for a corner.
Yeah, a little bit of nerves from this Millwall back line there on a couple of occasions. They haven't been able to clear the lines. Got a bit fortunate with the clearance from Pritchard's free kick. I'm sure he didn't try to play it along the ground. He looked like he was trying to dip it over the top of the wall, but it caused problems to this back line of Millwall, and that ball just comes straight back in. It's all about pressure. Sunderland having a best spell. Next couple of minutes, Pritchard now with this corner.
29 on the clock on TalkSport 2. Sunderland looking to get back to winning ways here. Ball whipped in near post. It glances off a header and away to the edge of the D. It's thumped high in the air. Sunderland should get it back somewhere near the edge of the area, but Millwall have cleared it away. Fleming tries to get it out, and that comes off Honeyman, and there could be a chance here. Vogelsam, I think he's going to be deemed to be offside. He hit it first time on the volley, just missed the target. Wouldn't have counted anyway, but you can't fault the confidence. Runner played for Union Berlin in Germany. He's not scored yet for Millwall, but he came pretty close there, although the flag would have ruled it out. Still 0-0.
Yeah, but then again, Mark, you know, this all comes from a Sunderland corner. Millwall clear the lines, and as Millwall break, if he wins that header towards Vogelsam, which he did, and he stays onside, it's a 2v1, even I think actually 3v1 situation, because the Sunderland players switched off.
Well, Murray Wallace has just pulled back Amad Diallo. You see, for me, that's more of a yellow card than the Saville one. He's just pulled him back, and now they've gone down again. Diallo's got in behind Honeyman here. Quickly taken free kick. Plays it for Pritchard. Pulls it across. Comes off the defender Cooper and out for a throw-in. Got goals elsewhere in League One. MK Dons 0, Burton Albion 1. Victor Adebayo with a goal. I can tell you that Leyton Orient lead Bradford City by a goal to 0. Kelman with a goal there as Pritchard has it on the right. That's a great ball to the far post. Clark arriving, but couldn't quite get all of it. It may have touched the Millwall defender, and Clark, he had the last touch as it went behind, and it remains goalless here. Can't tell you, in the Women's Super League, Manchester United have got an early 2-0 advantage over Aston Villa. Leah Galton with their second goal. And it is 0-0 here. It was Katie Zalem with the opening Manchester United women's goal. 2-0. We've got the Manchester Derby next Sunday, week on Sunday, on the TalkSport network. If you've got the app, you won't miss any of that. You can swipe left and right between TalkSport and TalkSport 2. You might want to do that tonight. Argentina, Australia live on TalkSport. We've got the boxing. The undercard starts on TalkSport 2 before moving over to TalkSport at 9 o'clock, where you'll hear the trilogy fight between Tyson Fury and Derek Chisora. The only place you'll hear it on national radio is live on TalkSport tonight. If you've got the app, you won't miss any of it. Ball cleared away. 0-0 here at the Stadium of Light. The championship is back, and Sunderland are getting back into this game as well. They've got a free kick on the halfway line, and finally, after half an hour, maybe the jet lag from the flight to Dubai, Mickey's just starting to wear off.
I think you're right. Well, something sparked them into life, Mark, and they certainly needed it. Yeah, they've had a really positive last 3 or 4 minutes, a couple of really good moves, certainly down this right-hand side with Pritchard putting some early nice balls into the box. But the movement's better now. You can see the confidence starting to flow through the veins of the Sunderland players, passing the ball around a lot better. And now it's Millwall are doing the chasing.
Yeah, they are. 0-0. Gary Rowett's side started really well, the visitors. They had a couple of chances. Bradshaw had one cleared off the line. Jake Cooper had a volley straight at the goalkeeper. And at the other end, Sunderland have not threatened too much, but they are starting to build into the game now as Clark and McNamara have a tussle, and Clark's nicked it away, and now Clark into the area. He's got support with him. He cuts it onto his right foot. Shoot! Big chance at the far post. No. Diallo wanted too long. If he hits that first time, he's got a clean sight of goal. Mickey Gray, he wanted more touches than ever he had time for.
I can't believe it. You can't believe what you've actually just witnessed. It's brilliant play from Jack Clark. His strike gets away. That little deflection, it's just perfectly on a plate for Diallo with his right foot, just to slot that ball into the back of the net. Well, does that sum up the start of his performance in this game, Mark? It's been really scrappy, lack of confidence. That should have been a goal.
It should have been. And he's just weaved his way past a couple of defenders. Honeyman sided him down, and Honeyman will be the second name into the book today. Gets a yellow card, but it's one of those, Mickey. If he hits it and misses, the fans would rather he did that than have a touch and not get the shot away.
How can I explain this? If you've been watching the World Cup, it's like Lukaku's chance when he hits the post with his right foot when he's playing for Belgium. He's got the goal to aim for, the right foot, just lock your ankle and get your shot away. He's tried to be smart, come back onto his left foot, couple of step overs, and the chance has gone.
Well, there's a chance for Sunderland now. Pritchard towards the far post. It's cleared edge of the area. It'll fall to Clark. He might hit it. One of the referees blown the whistle and said there's been a foul on the edge of the 6-yard box. Well, it's 0-0, but Sunderland, who started really slowly, are growing into this one at the Stadium of Light. But that was the best chance, and it's a chance really that you shouldn't be turning up. And it's not like Diallo hasn't been playing well. He's already got 3 goals in his loan spell here, and he'd want that one again. A player of his ability, he's going to hit the target from there, surely.
You have to, Mark. I mean, when we look at the game at the end of this, you see shots on target stats, shots on goal. That one will be missing. He'll be wondering why, because he just has to shoot. If you're a player out there, in your mindset, the confidence that he showed in his last couple of games in a Sunderland shirt, you wrap your right foot round that and you stick that ball in the back of the net. Forget about all these step overs, trying to score the perfect, pretty goal. That's all he needed to do. I don't know if that's a lack of experience, a lack of confidence, but what a chance when you haven't been the better side in the first half. You're starting to take over, yes, the last 3 or 4 minutes, but that was huge.
Long ball forward by Millwall. Honeyman wins the header. He's going to get it back as well. Corner of the area, slides it into the edge of the area. It might break here on the far side. Fleming tries to weave it through. Maybe he could have had a shot there. There's a bit of pushing and shoving between Fleming and Pritchard. Edge of the area. Millwall have got it back, but they're going to go back to the halfway line. And now Cresswell is going to switch play out to this near side. Honeyman the target. Wins the header again. Wallace is going forward, but Diallo defended well there. And the ball not long for Sims, and Cooper's just blocked him. Well, Ellis Sims is a young man learning his trade, isn't he? And players like Cooper are going to show him all the tricks in the book.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Cooper, I mean, as a centre-half, you're thinking to yourself, my job's done. Centre-forward's not run away from me. You can hear the Sunderland supporters are going absolutely crazy. But an experienced centre-half against an inexperienced centre-forward, I think most of the time, Mark, we know who's going to come out on top.
Well, here's Diallo, who's picked it up in space over halfway. He's got room out to the left. Jack Clark now starting to see more of the ball, and that's good for Sunderland. Here he cuts past his man again. He's into the edge of the area, then goes back onto his left foot. He's trying to beat McNamara again, and not for the first time. McNamara, when the ball on the ground one-on-one, defensively makes a great challenge. It's out for a throw-in, still 0-0.
Yeah, he's done that very well, hasn't he? Dan McNamara on that right-hand side, 1v1 situations. Love to see that. Throw back to an old-school defender, because most of them love breaking forward and getting in the opposition's half now. But Jack Clark's the go-to man, isn't he? I think he's the man in form for Sunderland. Try and get that ball out to the left-hand side. And on the odd occasion, he will get the better of McNamara, like he has done, I think, on one occasion for that Diallo opportunity. But yeah, the game's opening up now, seeing better football. Millwall themselves over the last 2 or 3 minutes, I think they're just trying and scraping to try and get that ball into Sunderland's 18-yard box now.
Yeah, Sunderland just made a bit of a mess of a short throw on the far side, so Millwall have got it back and they're knocking it long, trying to get Bradshaw, who challenges in the air against Danny Bath, and it's cleared away now inside the Millwall half. Creswell heads it to halfway. Strong challenge goes in. Honeyman had a fly kick at that and completely missed it. And now Pritchard is closing in on goal. He gives it to Sims wide on the right. Hits it first time. It's straight at the keeper, but the fans appreciate that. That was half a chance to have a shot, and Sims didn't need a second invitation. Straight at the keeper, still 0-0.
Yeah, good chance from Ellis Sims, but that is the difference, isn't it? A centre forward, a touch out of his feet. He's still got a defender in front of him, but he takes a pot shot, gives himself a chance. He makes George Long make the save in that Millwall goal.
Ball cleared long and downfield is headed away over on the far side by Alessi. I can tell you, Leyton Orient now 2-0 up against Bradford. Tom James with a goal. I know a couple of my friends Bradford fans made the long trip down this morning. They might be regretting that now. 2-0 Bradford trail at Leyton Orient, who were flying at the start of the season. Ball into the Sunderland half. Bradshaw plays a good ball out wide on the right. Early ball in, and it's partially cleared. It'll fall here for Fleming. Fleming now looks to get the shot blocked. It'll come back to him. Lays it here, and a chance for Mitchell. Falls back here on the near side. And in the end, that's really well defended by Diallo, of all people. Just eases them off the ball. And Saville couldn't get the cross in, and it goes behind for a goal kick. But that ball in from the right hand side, Mickey, that was begging someone to touch it in. Someone got a touch on it and just took it away from the Millwall attackers.
Well, I have to say, Andreas Volkslammer over on that right hand side, his delivery into the box in this first half has been absolutely superb. I count that 3 or 4, being absolutely outstanding, where he's whipped them to the back stick, but he knows that his players are waiting. And this one just fizzed along the ground. The keeper comes out, Patterson can't get it. Sunderland defenders don't want to touch it because they're thinking about scoring an own goal. Eventually comes out to Fleming at the edge of the area, and I think again he took that touch and just tried to curl it round the defender. By the time he'd done that, the opportunity really had gone.
It's been a friendly goal. Trabzonspor 1, Hull City 0. I don't know if you're aware of the story, Mickey. The Hull City new owner, he's Turkish, obviously.
Yeah.
He's paid for 320 fans, I think.
Wow.
Have gone on a week's all-inclusive holiday to follow the team in Turkey. I wonder if they'll dare boo that they're 1-0 down.
Was that names in hat, or was it just?
I don't know how they picked it, but he's taking 320 on a private flight. So, well, I'm sure they'll be having a good time, despite the fact that Hull are losing in that one. But yeah, nice story that. Great generosity. Here though come Millwall here. They're looking now with Fleming to work the ball. It might break for Mitchell, who certainly caught the player there, and Mitchell will get a speaking to here. That was another high boot, and the Sunderland player is down, and the referee Tim Robinson will first check he's okay. But that looked another naughty challenge from Millwall there. No sign yet of a card, but the referee might want a word in a moment.
Yeah, I think it's Jack Clark who's the unfortunate Sunderland player who's just got back to his feet now, but it looked like a high foot from Mitchell, and I think it is going to be a yellow card, Mark. It was a high boot, wasn't it, with a stud showing. I think it's one of those fouls that you don't get away with. But again, it's Millwall who are on the front foot. Again, just trying to get behind this back line of Sunderland. Well, what are we? 5 minutes left of this first half. It's kind of been ebb and flow, hasn't it? Millwall certainly had the better of it in the first 25 to 30 minutes. Sunderland have grown into the game. They've had their chances, and probably the best of all, which won't really now go down as a chance because he didn't actually take the strike on from Diallo. But two sides in front of us, and certainly the home side, were the ones who struggled to settle back into Championship football.
Yeah, they were indeed. You take out that big Millwall win when they won 4-2 at Preston North End. They've struggled by and large for goals in recent weeks, and they've played some nice stuff today, but Patterson hasn't had a save to make, really, of note. The save he made from Cooper, he would make, you would say, 100 times out of 100. It was straight at him.
And I think the other one, Mark, sorry for jumping in, I think the other one would have been the Bradshaw header, which went over the top of Patterson, which was finding its way into the back of the net, where Patterson found himself in no man's land. Well, they're the type of things as a goalkeeper that you've got to try and forget very quickly, and hopefully from a Sunderland perspective he has done.
Well, here's Clark, advances down the left-hand side again, level with the edge of the penalty area, looking to work an opening here. He moves it onto his right foot. Now he's looking to go left, go right. He's still got it, Jack Clark. We know he can shoot with his right foot, but he opts to square it to Diallo. And Diallo now finds Lyndon Gooch wide on the right. Sunderland being patient here. Gooch edging his way towards the byline, edge of the area. Little turn, can he open up? It's good defending in front of him. He can't quite buy that half a yard, but he threads the ball into Pritchard. Here now is Diallo. And Sunderland again going backwards, but now there's a chance for Gooch. Now he's got half a yard. He had a chance to put it in on his right foot. He turned it down. Diallo will work his way forward, and he's just body checked out of the way. And Millwall are looking to counter-attack here with Mitchell, but unless he makes a good challenge and a ball on halfway, Sunderland just look a little bit hesitant. When they've got a chance to get it in, they're not getting it in.
The problem is, Mark, and especially down this right-hand side, I said Lyndon Gooch has been very, very negative in this first half. Everything seems to be going backwards. I think he's put one cross into the area, and a player that loves to break forward, the numbers are just not good enough. He keeps coming back, waiting to try and chop it onto his left foot. It's great defending, I have to say, from Murray Wallace, but work that ball a little bit quicker and give your centre forwards a chance of getting on the end of one of your crosses.
Diallo brings it down midway inside the Millwall half. We've got 2 minutes to go. There should be quite a bit of added on time. We had a couple of injuries early on. Here's Lyndon Gooch, tried to go round Wallace, and he ran straight into him and falls theatrically to the floor. It's a good job we're not on the TalkSport YouTube. Mickey Gray's going crazy here up in the Stadium of Light. He's had a couple of chances, Mickey, to get the ball in the air. I'm with you. I mean, the first one, when he used all the tricks, he used good skill. He was good defending in front of him. But then the second one, he's got clearly a couple of yards to get the ball in, and he opted not to cross it.
Well, you don't have to listen to me either, Mark. Just listen to the crowd, because I'm sure you can hear them underneath the microphones that we've got in front of our mouths. They know what he needs to do, which is put that ball into the area. Don't try and pick somebody out. Just put it into a dangerous area. That's what the supporters want to see. They want to see wide players taking on defenders and being positive at the end of it, not negative, coming back, and that time there runs into the defender looking for a foul. There was no way it was a foul.
Well, Sunderland have got a free kick, but it's right over on the far side of the field, and it's going to be swung in. There's only really Ellis Sims forward at the moment for Sunderland. He stood in the D on the edge of the penalty area, very much ploughing a lone furrow at the moment. No Ross Stewart, of course, but should be back sooner rather than later. And Sunderland have gone back inside their own half, and again there are just a few rumbles of discontent, no more than that at the Stadium of Light, but I want to see their side a little bit more forward thinking. Now they go long towards the far side. That's headed away. Pritchard was never going to win that header in the air, and they've given away a free kick. And I just wonder, Mickey, when you've got a free kick 40 yards out from goal that you could put into the area, why you then go back in your own half and just play the long ball into the same area?
You're spot on. You're absolutely spot on, Mark. You just don't need to do that. There's not many sides, when you get the chance of putting the ball into the area, you play the ball back into your own half. Even if you just get somebody who's 5 yards away from you to change the angle of the free kick, where they're not doing it at the moment. Tony Mowbray can't wait. Look, I think we've got 4 added minutes in this first half. Tony Mowbray can't wait to get in at half-time to have a word with his players.
Well, he might be having a stern word, because Volksheimer got in there, and Bradshaw again really alert. Volksheimer initially didn't look like he was going to get it, but then it was played in and Sunderland cleared it out on the far side. I think Gary Rout will be imploring his side to try and challenge down that right-hand side more often, because every time they go that way they look like they're going to get into the penalty area, and they are going to get a late chance here. We're inside the first of a minimum 4 added on minutes. They're going to go with a long throw here. Ian Fleming is going to propel it in. There are plenty of blue shirts waiting for it as well. Here he comes. What's the long throw like? It's a bit loopy, and it's headed away at the near post, and the referee determines that Millwall actually infringe there, and that will be a free kick. That was a bit of a damp squib as well, wasn't it, the long throw?
I think it was, an attempt at a long throw, but didn't really get too far with it. I've got to be completely honest with you. I mean, when you've got Pritchard, probably the smallest man on the pitch, at the front of the edge of the 18-yard area, and he is the one who's getting fouled, I think that kind of sums that throw-in up. But you're right, it was a chance for Millwall again to put the ball in the box, but unfortunately for them, they didn't get this one right.
Still goalless. Sims wins the header, nobody on the end of it. Thumped away up towards halfway by Millwall. That's a nice touch on the far side, and they play it forward, but Bradshaw had come short. Not the best touch from Danny Bart, but he'll get it away to his goalkeeper, who needs to be tied. He's giving it away right in front of goal, and they've missed the target from 18 yards out. Zian Fleming, the goal unguarded. There was a defender racing back, and he's put it wide. That was a huge opportunity. Patterson trying to play his way out, and I think Zian Fleming there's got to have another touch, and he should bury that.
Well, I mean, it's just ludicrous to actually even be talking of what's just happened. I mean, the ball falls back to Anthony Patterson. You can see he's got enough time to actually just clear his lines. You're getting near the half-time whistle, and that is just absolutely ridiculous. What a huge let-off for Sunderland.
He didn't really hit it well, Fleming, but here come Millwall again. Volkslammer wide on the right, puts it into the area. Sunderland will this time play their way well out of trouble. The ball now knocked forward for Sims to chase, and Sims is going to get on the end of it. Wide on the left is a chance for late drama for Sunderland here. Ball squared 25 yards out from goal, but the blue shirts footing back, just outnumbered the red and white, and they get it forward again. And if that ball goes a yard over Alessi far side, Millwall would have been in again. I think Tony Mowbray needs to have a look at that left side of his defence. It looks a bit open at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, Sirkin, I think he was on the benchmark, isn't he? He's got a lot more experience than what Alessi's got. I'm wondering if that's going to be a change at half-time, or whether there's going to be a system change. Just going back to that chance from Anthony Patterson, we said he's had two little scares in the first half, but on this occasion, what a huge let-off for the young goalkeeper there, trying to be smart, just playing out to the edge of his 18-yard box. Just get your laces through it and clear your lines. If you're not sure who you're playing that ball to, and Zian Fleming, a man in form as well, you think he should hit the target. You're right, he scuffs it a little bit, doesn't he, and it kind of curls away from that far post. But what a chance for Gary Rowett and his Millwall team to go in at half-time 1-0 up.
Yeah, they say never follow a mistake with another mistake. It was Danny Bart's loose touch, wasn't it, that put Bart under pressure. He then put Patterson under pressure. Patterson then followed it with a really poor ball out, but Fleming had all the time in the world there, and he'll be bitterly disappointed with that one as the half-time whistle goes here, and it's a few rumbles and then a small ripple of applause as the players make their way off, but it's been Millwall who've had the better of it. Cooper with an early chance, he volleyed straight at the goalkeeper Patterson, then Bradshaw headed over the advancing Patterson only to find his effort cleared off the line, and then right at the end of the half, huge chance, ball from Patterson was straight to Zian Fleming, but he fluffed his lines from 18 yards out. At the other end, one genuine chance for Sunderland, and it came after Jack Clark's shot was blocked into the path of Amad Diallo, but he opted not to shoot, had an extra touch, and the chance was gone. Sunderland, for a lot of that first half, might wish they were still in Dubai. They need to improve in the second half. In the chilly northeast, it's Sunderland 0, Millwall 0. Cheers, Dan. No changes yet for either of these two sides. Interesting point, isn't it, about Ross Stewart? I just think he's that important to this team that is it worth risking him for one game? Maybe give him another week to get ready, but he will be back sooner rather than later. But at the moment, Sunderland are going to have to do it without him, and they're already defensively being tested here. Sunderland, as Millwall push forward. To give you the two teams in a moment. Pritchard, though, will look to counter from inside his own half. Gets it out wide on the far side. And the ball back towards halfway. They're looking for the big diagonal switch, and again you have to say that McNamara has defended that well. We'll start off with Sunderland then. Patterson in goal, a relieved Anthony Patterson after the error at the end of the first half went unpunished. Gucho, Nine, Bart and Alessi across the back. It's Evans and Neal holding, with Diallo, Pritchard and Clark behind Ellis Sims up top. For Millwall, George Long is the goalkeeper. A back four of Wallace, Cooper Creswell and McNamara. Saville and Mitchell, the holding midfielders, with Honeyman, Fleming and Vugslammer behind Bradshaw up top. And once again, Sunderland are trying to play out from the back. And Mickey once again puts his head in his hands. And the ball now is up towards the halfway line. Here is Alessi now on this near side. Gets it back. Can he engineer an opening? Looks to play it into Sims. It was a decent ball in, and then they follow up his charge down by Clark, but the referee, I think, has deemed that he handled it, and that will be a free kick to Millwall. Once when I covered Leeds United, Mickey sat next to Norman Hunter. He was doing his ambassadorial role, and Leeds were doing that at the back. And he slammed the desk with both his fists, and he stood up and shouted at the top of his voice, and there was a choice language in there. Just clear the ball. And he banged that hard on the desk. My kit went off, and it's like you look round and it's Norman Hunter, and you go, all right, Norman.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything to Norman. Well, I've not done any fist banging yet, I have to admit, but my heart is in my mouth at times when that ball does go back to Anthony Patterson in the Sunderland goal.
Yeah. It was so funny at the time. Here now is McNamara. Looks to get it out wide. Vugslammer puts another decent ball in. Penalty spot area. There was nobody there to attack it. Ball will fall to Mitchell now. 0-0 here. If you just switched on the Championship back. Bumper day of sport. 2 World Cup knockout games. Championship action. And a knockout fight in the heavyweight boxing tonight. All to come. If you've got the app, you can take us out and about with you. If you off out for a stroll, got a spot of shopping, or whatever you're doing today, take the app with you. You won't miss none of the top quality sporting action we've got. Better from Sunderland. Win the ball back in their own half. They're looking to work it downfield now. Looking to create an opportunity. They go wide to Clark. McNamara chests it down, but it might fall for Sims, who just nicked away from him. And it was Creswell who was alert to the danger. 2 Premier League loanees going at it there. Creswell of Leeds and Sims of Everton, but it was Creswell who got the better of it, and the ball's now all the way down the other end in the arms of the Sunderland goalkeeper Anthony Patterson.
Yeah, nearly a little bit of good fortune there for Ellis Sims. I don't think he really knew too much about it. It was just Millwall trying to play it back to the goalkeeper. Kind of got it half wrong, but you're right, good defender from Creswell in the end. He read the situation. He was a little bit sharper than Sims. There was a coming together, but it was after the ball had gone, and I don't think Sims really turned round to the referee asking for any foul, because if he had done, he wouldn't have got it anyway.
No, ball on halfway. Here's Diallo now, just inside his own half, turns and then cuts back in. And the more I look at him when he uses his left foot, you can't help but wonder why he didn't shoot when the ball was on his left foot in that first half. Ball going forward here though, Millwall have won it back. Vugslammer is looking to get in behind Clark. He's gone past Clark, pulls the ball back. They were rushing in edge of the area, but it was turned away at the near post by Sunderland and out for a throwing down the near side. Still 0-0.
Well, that has definitely been a test for Sunderland over on this, well, Sunderland's left-hand side, Millwall's right-hand side. Vugslammer's just been so direct. He's like a throwback winger, isn't he? He's got one thought in his mind, which is to try and get to the byline. Once he gets that half a yard, he just whips that ball into the area. As a fullback, absolute nightmare to play against.
Sunderland have got it with Clark, wide on the left. They'll look now to go back infield. Luko Nyan has it. Always gambled that pass. He tried to slide it through, but a crunching tackle from Neil wins it straight back. That's the type of tackle that gets the fans involved. Here now is Pritchard. He's got Clark wide to his left-hand side. Gets it away now to Clark. Clark is looking edge of the area, squares it to Pritchard, room for a shot but opts not to. He's going to come back to Clark, is he? No, he just stands. Now he's got it on his right foot, now he shoots, and the keeper long down low to his left saves it in the end, but that was a decent effort from Sunderland.
Yeah, really good move, nice football. They were patient in their play. Pritchard had a couple of little looks, didn't he? He tried to get his shot away and he played it out wide to Clark. He gets the ball back, just made that little half a yard for himself. Pritchard, he's very good at that. Gets a lot of pace on it, keeps it nice and low. Good save from George Long.
Yeah, they were following up as well, the Sunderland players, as Bradshaw wins the flick on off the long ball downfield, but it's flicked on to nobody, and it's behind for a goal kick. 5.5 gone. You're live on TalkSport 2. And it's Sunderland 0, Millwall 0. Millwall have had a couple of 0-0s recently, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. You're saying the lack of goals that they've had over the last few games that they've had, Mark, albeit, you know, they beat Preston 4-2, so maybe they saved them up for one away game. But I think, it's probably a concern for Gary Rowett at times in games where you need that little bit of a breather just to get yourself in front. Might be a little bit of a concern for them.
Yeah, ball won by Alessi, crunching tackle on Pritchard, and that will be a foul, and he gets to his feet slowly, and then realises there's a quick free kick to be taken, and he all of a sudden is off and running. But the free kick not taken quickly because Volkshammer just stood in front of the ball. And now the ball in the centre circle with Sunderland, who looking to push. They've not been great at home recently. I'll say recently, pre-World Cup break. One win in the last 5 here. But can they get another victory here? It's all a bit slow at the moment, the build-up from Sunderland, but they're trying to look after the ball. Diallo on the far side will go back to his goalkeeper. They need to get Diallo more involved over the halfway line at the moment. There's too many Sunderland players happy to play backwards rather than forwards. Now the ball into the feet of Pritchard, who's always looking to get on the turn, and he's gone past one. Flicks it, he's going to get a 1-2 there off a Millwall player, and he races now into the byline. He's looking for a red and white shirt. He finds Sims, back flick, turned in at the far post, and Sunderland have got the lead. Diallo, I think, has turned it in at the far post. It was great work from Pritchard. He got lucky with a deflection off a Millwall player, but he looked as he ran into the area to pick his spot. He found Sims, who tried to flick it back heel into the goal, and at the far post it was turned in. It's Sunderland 1, Millwall 0.
A bit of life in the game, bit of life in the stadium. All comes down to some positive play from Alex Pritchard. He gets that little bit of good fortune when the ball bounces back to him, but he did not let anybody down. Gets to the byline, pulls it across to the 6-yard box. A little flick from Ella Sims, looked like it was just about to roll into the back of the net, but you can't wait for that if you're a wide player. Amad Diallo from a yard out just slots that ball into the back of the net. Look, he made a mistake in the first half by not shooting. Well, he had to shoot this time. Slots the ball into the back of the net. Positive start to the second half. Sunderland 1-0 up.
And Sims maybe deserves a bit of credit there, because the ball in was just behind him, but he got enough on it to turn it towards the far post, and Sunderland have got the lead. And Diallo has another goal, the Manchester United loanee, 4th of the season in the Championship for him. Well, that was a great Pritchard run, and we mentioned about being brave. He's always looking to go forward. And that run there, as Clark tried to intercept one at the other end though, and that's allowed McNamara in, and McNamara puts in a great ball. It was turned behind by Danny Bard at the near post, and Millwall have got a quick chance to reply. Sunderland 1, Millwall 0.
What a ball from Dan McNamara, who's had a very good game so far. He just puts it into such a dangerous area, and Danny Bard heart in mouth when he's cleared his lines there, because they can make a deflection and easily find their way into the back of the Sunderland net. Well, now it's Millwall on the front foot.
A lot of blue shirts enter the area. They race in now. There's bodies on the ground. Header, and he's headed off the line. Headed off the line at the near post. That was a great header off the Sunderland goal line. A header powered towards goal, and it's put behind for another corner.
Wow. This time it's Charlie Cresswell, Millwall centre half. He's just waiting on the edge of the box. He wins his header. He gets in front of the Sunderland markers, heads it down, does everything right. I don't know which Sunderland defender
Dan Neil it was.
Dan Neil, absolutely brilliant to clear his lines.
He did. Here comes another corner, straight back in, same area, headed down. It's bouncing around on the penalty spot. Volley comes in, and this time it's put wide. It was another half chance for Millwall, but the response has been a good one. But Sunderland crucially in front here at the Stadium of Light. The Championship back on TalkSport 2, and the second half has presented us with an early goal now that sets this game up nicely for the closing stages.
Well, they look such a threat, Millwall, from set pieces. They've got that physicality, they've got the height with Jay Cooper and Charlie Cresswell. Actually, then 2 opportunities, Mark, fell to the centre half of Millwall. I'm just wondering if they might have fell to somebody else if they'd had a better chance to get themselves back onto level terms. But this is Millwall. What a reaction after going a goal down.
Yeah, Diallo was screaming for a free kick far side. He didn't get one. Although Nyan feeds it out to Alessi on this near side, he gets it back. Danny Bart will look to play his way forward. All of a sudden the the pressure that was building not quite as great on Sunderland. There's a flick round the corner. Sims is racing onto it. Keeper Long was quickly out, and that was decisive goalkeeping from Long. Did good work there.
I have to say, the old sweeper keeper, George Long, absolutely fantastic, because it's Pritchard. He tries to flick the ball around the corner for Jack Clark. That doesn't come off, but Sims was on his toes. He reacted better than any Sunderland player.
Well, here is Sims again. He's down the left-hand side of the penalty area. He's looking for Pritchard. Now, Leslie made a great run into the area. Pritchard, though, didn't see him. Now he's down the left-hand side of the penalty area, looking to add to the lead. Works it in. It's a good ball into the far post. Diallo is arriving. He might get a chance now as the ball is fed wide on the Sunderland right. He looks up. He's trying to go past his man. He went down right on the edge of the area there, and he throws an arm in frustration towards the referee. But it's play on, and Bradshaw's chasing a long ball down the other end, but Sunderland have got it back. But fair to say, whatever Tony Mowbray said at half-time, Mickey Gray's worked.
Well, it's amazing, isn't it? You come out, you show a bit of positivity, you get yourself in front, you see the confidence starting to run through the players now. Amad Diallo, again, in a 1v1 situation. Yes, he loses the ball, but I don't mind that. As a manager or a Sunderland supporter, at least you see in positivity of a wide player trying to take on his defender. Murray Wallace defended actually very well in that left-back position.
Sunderland lead 1-0. Amad Diallo's goal here. Ball on halfway. Sunderland fans have found their voice now. Ball over on this left-hand side. Mark Wilson, Mickey Gray, Dan Windle with you this afternoon on TalkSport 2. Don't forget the round of 16, the knockout round in the World Cup starts over on TalkSport at 3. A nice ball wide on the Sunderland right-hand side, and they work their way into the area here. Ball pulled back to Pritchard. Pritchard gets it out of his feet, goes past one, shoots, and it's in! Pritchard created the first, scores the second. Sunderland double their lead. He didn't panic, he had the composure, and Pritchard finds the bottom corner. Whether Long could have done better or not, well, that's Millwall's problem. Sunderland lead by 2 goals to 0.
And in the space of 5 minutes, 2 fantastic goals from a Sunderland perspective. Brilliant play, I have to say, from Lyndon Gooch. More positivity on that right-hand side. Takes on his defender, I think it was Murray Wallace. He just skips by him, plays that ball into Pritchard, tries to get it out of his feet. He's looking for the strike. He has to then take on 2 players. He then finds a little avenue. He just gets his strike away, and there's too much pace on it for George Long to keep it out of that Millwall net. What a start to the second half. The atmosphere is absolutely rocking now in the Stadium of Light, and what a start this has been for Sunderland in the second 45 minutes.
2 goals in 5 minutes. Pritchard made 1, scores the second, and you knew as soon as he got the ball, Mickey, he didn't panic. He had a chance, then a half a chance. He went past another one, but as soon as he pulled back that right boot, that was going in the bottom corner. Great work, and what a different place this is now. Second half, Millwall, who were the better side in the first 45, have been outplayed here at the moment, and Millwall need a response. But Sunderland, all of a sudden, they're the team getting on the loose balls, and here's Pritchard, the man of the moment. But now Evans will just work it across, and Sunderland looking to play their way out from the back. They'll knock it. It's a worker for Sims, who's going to give chase again, and the ball thumped away by Millwall, flicked on towards Bradshaw, brings it down on halfway. What is Millwall's resolve like then? They could have gone fourth with a win here today. They look anything but winners at the moment. They're 2-0 down, and the ball on the edge of the centre circle. Here's Cooper, moves it wide to the Millwall left-hand side, back to Cooper. Sims, who's worked hard up front, he's had very little to feed on, but he's given his running so far, and the ball now works its way out wide to McNamara. Wanted to give and go there, he didn't get it. Millwall having the ball, but all of a sudden, Mickey, Sunderland don't need to go chasing. They can just afford to sit back a little bit and hold their shape and wait for Millwall to make a mistake.
Absolutely. It's all about getting your noses in front and then knowing what you have to do the rest of the game, being patient. But it just takes one player, doesn't it, Mark? A reaction from one player who starts to improve, making things happen, and that player has certainly been Alex Pritchard in this second 45 minutes. He's been on the back of everything good that Sunderland have done. He's been involved in the play. He's getting on the half turn. He's showed us the great ability that he's got with a super run for the first goal, and then what a finish for himself to make it 2-0. Brilliant second half performance so far.
Ball played in down the channel. Diallo's trying to get in behind on the right, and he's got there first in front of Wallace. Can he engineer himself an opening? His close control is magnificent, but the pass wasn't the best, but Honeyman couldn't keep it in, and it's out for a throw in far side. But all of a sudden there's a little bit more bravery, there's a little bit more positivity about Sunderland. They lead by 2-0, and they are looking to close the gap on the top 6 to just 1 point.
What a win, what a huge win this could be for Sunderland to start to climb them back up that championship table. But I honestly you feel for Millwall, I have to be honest with you, because I said at half-time, Mark, I thought they deserved to go in at half-time, certainly in front in the game. They come out in the second half and they've created a few little chances, but other than that, still waiting for that clear-cut opportunity when you think about Fleming, Bradshaw, Wolf Slammer.
What do you make of this, Mickey? Alex Pritchard is coming off here. He's been taken off. And we're going to see Elliot Embleton, I think it is, who's coming on down below us. Well, that was a cameo in the second half, wasn't it?
Certainly was. I mean, you're just wondering whether he's got a little bit of a knock, as he's walking off the pitch, because, he really has. He's been outstanding in the second half. And I'm wondering whether it was a decision that Tony Mowbray's maybe thought about before he actually scored the goal and set up the first one. But Embleton gets his chance. All there is just a handshake, so it looks as if he's okay. I don't know if he's been holding on to an injury over the last few weeks or whatever the problem's been, but talk about a cameo in the second half. Absolutely top class.
Yeah, 17 minutes of it, but it produced one and it scored one. And from a Sunderland perspective, that will do. But the job not done yet. Sunderland can't rest on this 2-goal lead, but you have to say the attitude at the moment is one that they do want to go and get a third. And Millwall with it all to do. A side who start the day inside the top 6, but very much now in the close range of Sunderland, who, if they do win here, will just be a point off. Remember, only newly promoted as well, as they look to switch it. Clark finds Diallo. Diallo waits for the run into the area. There wasn't one initially, so he goes back here, and a chance now to slide it through. Sims has got in. Can he turn onto his left foot? Squares it away. Big chance for 3-0, but they couldn't quite pull the trigger. And in the end, it's cleared away. It was Embleton straight into the action, just couldn't find the shot.
Yeah, I think he just couldn't work his feet out, Elliot Embleton there. But again, super play from Sunderland. Worked the ball excellent into the 18-yard area. Sims it was. I thought he was going to take the strike on. He's done well. He's chopped it back. Again, he got his feet caught up with each other, but then he played that ball back to Embleton and just couldn't get his strike away. But it's Millwall now at the back who look as if they're at 6s and 7s and all over the place, who need to settle themselves down.
Yeah, they look a little bit ragged at the moment, Gary Rowett's men. Tony Mowbray. Well, I think if you took a picture of Tony Mowbray, you wouldn't know if his team were winning 4-0 or losing 4-0, would you? He just looks the same whatever. He never gets carried away. Might be getting excited here, though, because Sunderland have going down the right. Ball in for Sims. Cleared away. Cooper happy just to hack it anywhere. But Sunderland at the moment, they look like a side that are going to score every time they go forward. Here now Zalesny gets it away. Clark, always a threat. Cuts in on his right foot, just squares the ball off, invites Luke O'Nien forward. He finds a nice pass. Diallo on the far side, skips past one, drives to the edge of the area. Thought it was brought down, but the referee disagrees, and now it's Millwall who will bring it up towards halfway, and they will get it out wide on their left-hand side. Bradshaw cuts back in, good foot in though from Sunderland. It'll be picked up by Billy Mitchell. And Mitchell just goes back to halfway. 20 minutes gone, second half. 2 quick-fire goals for Sunderland. They lead by 2-0. McNamara cuts in. Clark happy just to sit off him and let him pass the ball away. And then a foul by Embleton, who was maybe just a little bit overzealous as he tried to get the ball off George Saville. And it's going to be a free kick, and it's going to be a treble change here. Gary Rowett has seen enough here. So he's got 3 changes to make down below us. So off goes Saville. He is one of those replaced. And he's going to bring on initially Jamie Shackleton, the Leeds loanee. Then off the field, George Honeyman, who he got a few boos, but he's applauded the crowd as he makes his way off, and he is then applauded. They don't forget in these parts. And Mason Bennett is the third that will come on, and we'll confirm that final change in just a moment.
Vogslammer, Mark.
Vogslammer it was that came off.
So yeah, big changes for Millwall, needing to get themselves back into this game as quick as they can.
Well, they've got a free kick here, and they're going to float it towards the edge of the Sunderland area. Sunderland get the header up. Cooper races across to get it, but Mitchell will beat him, and Mitchell now level left edge of the area, trying to work it onto his right foot. The ball bounced up, I think hit him in the face, but he'll carry on it. And he got away with that there. Mitchell, in the end, just thumps it across field because Sunderland were trying to counter on him. And in the end, it's a nice touch down this near side. Cresswell it is, who's eased off it, and he's tackled the current Leeds player, tackled by a former Leeds player. Jack Clark got the ball in. It's out for a throw into Millwall, down by the corner flag. So a triple change, and I think that probably says everything that Gary Rowett thinks about this second half performance from his side so far.
Yeah, he'll be very disappointed, won't he? It just hasn't worked for them. Needed a reaction. Didn't really get one in the second half, and I think he's more shell-shocked than anybody else in the stadium from what he's seen from his side in the second 45.
Yes, indeed. Long throw going to be fired in towards the edge of the area now. It'll land 20 yards out from goal. They'll move it back left on this near side. Fleming now has got room on his left foot, whips in the ball. Again a good header, but he'll fall to Shackleton on the right. He puts it in penalty spot area, cleared away by Sunderland. And Sims will lead the charge as he leads the red and whites out of the edge of their own area, but Millwall have played it through them nicely. Shackleton wide on the right, plays it to the byline, chance for the cross for Bennett. It was just over the top of Cooper, far side. And then there's a theatrical dive. In fact, it was Cresswell who's got the ground here and goes down. And the referee will just go check he's okay. And the Sunderland player, in fairness, was just checking he's okay. It was one of those innocuous ones, but you're never quite sure. But he's up on his feet, far side. But that was a better chance there for Millwall.
Yeah, worked the ball, albeit Vogslammer going off the field, but they still worked it over on this right-hand side. A couple of chances, putting the ball into the area. And I think that's what they've kind of lacked in the second 45 minutes, Mark, is in the first half they were getting it over to this right-hand side, and they looked really strong. Positive balls and great balls into the area for your forward players to run onto, but centre forwards, the opportunities have kind of dried up a little bit because of how well Sunderland came out after the break and got them 2 goals.
Yeah, ball over on the far side. Sunderland have it. Luke O'Neill on halfway, slides it into the feet of Diallo. He then works it out wide. Here's a chance now to slide the ball into the path of Sims. Sims down to the byline, turns, pirouettes, pulls it back. It's left edge of the area. Shot comes in, and it was pulled wide, and that was half a chance there over on the far side. Dan Neal it was, couldn't quite get the power into the shot he needed.
Well, it was the only thing missing from a very good move again from Sunderland. They worked it out from their own half. Nice football through the middle of the field. Diallo with a reverse pass out to the wide, then it gets played to the edge of the box. It's Dan Neal, and he can have no excuses. It falls to his better right foot. He's just got to get his laces through that one, hit the target, ask questions of the goalkeeper. He kind of slumped to the ground afterwards because I think he was so disappointed, but nice move.
Yeah, it was a nice move. Ball in the centre circle here. Callum Stiles was the third change that came on. So just to reiterate those changes, Bennett, Stiles and Shackleton all came on. It was Vogelslammer, Honeyman and Saville who made way for the visitors here, who are 2-0 down on TalkSport 2. Mark Wilson, Mickey Gray, Dan Windle with all the action here at the Stadium of Light. Don't forget, on TalkSport 2, the first of the last round of 16 games is underway at 3, but here forward goes Bradshaw, feeds it out wide on the Millwall left. McNamara with a cross in, headed away, and then cleared at the far post and up towards Sims, who can't quite hang on to it this time, and Millwall are starting to leave more forward. They're starting to look a threat as Wallace works it out wide over on the far side. Can they engineer a cross? They will, and it's palmed over by Patterson. He wasn't sure it was underneath the crossbar, and in the end he just decided safety first, get it out, and it's a corner for Millwall.
Well, he's done ever so well in the end, Anthony Patterson, but I think it's Stiles over on the left hand side who's whipped that ball into the box with his left foot. looked possibly if it could have actually just dipped underneath the crossbar, so Patterson had to deal with it. But this is a really good spell for Millwall. Last couple of minutes, looking to try and get themselves back into this game.
Here's a corner now for Millwall. Swung in down their right hand side to the far post. It's headed up in the air, bouncing around edge of the area. Sunderland will try and work their way forward. Oh, lovely little bit of skill there from Diallo. Skips away from one. Now the counter's on. He tells Sims go, and Sims is played in over on the far side. Got defenders in front of him. Then he switches it back to the near side, and forward here go Sunderland, looking for that third goal, but they can't quite keep it. But now they have it. Here is Diallo again. Gets it level with the edge of the area. Just pops the ball back. Gets it again. It's out wide on this near side for Clark. Back to Diallo. They're almost having a private training session, but they've lost it. Then a crunching tackle goes in. That was won back by Embleton. And it's Clark and Diallo again, popping off the passes. Now they move it centre field. Chance now for Neil. Gets it out wide on the right. Gooch tries to go past this man. Styles blocked him, but the referee says no, he didn't. It's play on.
The game's certainly flowing now, and I think the referee's trying to let as much go as he possibly can. Again, nice move from Sunderland. Fantastic play from Diallo to work the ball out of his own 18-yard box. Plays a super ball into Ellis Sims, who I just thought rushed his pass. I think it was Corey Evans who was running by him on the right-hand side, and he tried to play Embleton. I thought that was the wrong pass.
Well, Gooch has just gone in the book there for Sunderland, and he thought he got blocked up the other end, and he's just run past the Millwall player and kicked him on the ankle. The referee says that'll be a yellow card. Fourth of the afternoon, and Millwall trailing by 2. Look to play it forward, and now it's they who've given away a free kick. Wallace, midway inside the Sunderland half, just bundled over a Sunderland player, and it is 2-0. The build-up to the opening last 16 game, Netherlands USA over on TalkSport right now, and later on Argentina Australia at 7 o'clock. Don't forget TalkSport 2 tonight. You get the undercard for the Fury Chisora fight live on TalkSport 2, and then at 9 o'clock the big fight will be on TalkSport, the trilogy fight. And we are getting some changes now for Sunderland. Patrick Roberts is about to come on, and it looks like Diallo is the player making his way off. Ahmed Diallo then, well, he missed a huge chance in the first half. Not so much missed it, just refused to take it, but he made no mistake from close range, and Patrick Roberts is into the action for Sunderland, and Diallo's afternoon is done.
On the score sheet, probably thrilled to pieces with that after ruining that opportunity in the first 45 minutes, but he can now go off. He can have a big smile on his face, Diallo, because he's done what it says you have to do in those wide positions. See things out, put the ball in the back of the net. Well, it's crazy how it takes certain individual players maybe even 40-45 minutes to react to a game of football, Mark, but when he did that, we saw the real Diallo, and I thought that was an excellent second half performance.
And he's the type of player you can only imagine he's going to flourish under Tony Mowbray, because Tony Mowbray is going to let him play his football, isn't he?
Absolutely. He'll give him opportunities, and that's the thing, isn't it? When you're a young man and you've been given a chance at your sister club, if you like, because he's on loan from Manchester United, he's a talented young man. He's going to get so many chances to show everybody what he's all about. He's got brilliant ability, but it's about learning the game, learning championship football, and over the coming weeks, he's certainly going to do that in the second half of the season.
Here come Millwall down the left-hand side, looking to work it all the way down towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Cross comes in. It should be cleared away by Clark. He rather ballooned his clearance. It only falls midway inside the Sunderland half. Mitchell will head it back, and they're going to have to go back again. Cresswell under pressure will have to go all the way back to his goalkeeper Long. I would like to see a replay of that Pritchard goal. It almost looked like he dropped it into the net, but whether he did or not, I'm not sure. But it's 2-0. Diallo with a tap in for the first off 53. Pritchard with a second, a low drilled shot from about 14 yards out. That was on 58 minutes, and whilst there's been a triple change for Millwall, They've had a bit of pressure, but not really tested out Patterson. It was interesting. I think we did the Middlesbrough game when Tony Mowbray went back to his former club. His side were well beaten. That was the night that Ross Stewart got injured in the warm-up, and he gave a really good speech after the game. As here come Sunderland, they've won it high up the field here, and there could be a chance from the edge of the area if they can work in a shot. It's down this near side. Embledon just ran out of room, finds Clark. Clark now works onto his left foot. He's level with the edge of the area. Here's Embledon now. Embledon's going to float it in. It's too deep for Sims. It's behind for a goal kick. He gave a really good speech, Tony Mowbray, and he just said, look, I want these young players to realise what it's like to be a professional footballer. Your career goes past in the blink of an eye, but I want them to turn up to work. I want them to enjoy showing people how good they are at football. I want them to show their skills when they turn up on a Saturday. And he just felt, that he's just the perfect manager of a side that are looking to promote young kids.
That's why I think he was always going to be one of the favourites to take the Sunderland job at the time, Mark, after Alex Neil went and left for Stoke City, because I talked about the recruitment that he used at Blackburn Rovers.
Well, here's Bradshaw. He's denied. Good tackle, Alessa on the near side. Yeah, you look at what he did at Blackburn with very little resources, and he created a team that probably performed better than you'd expect it to. But here now Millwall, they're looking to get their afternoon back on track. A win would have put them fourth, but they're under the pump, no doubt about that. As Cooper heads down to Cresswell, Sims will again give chase, and then he looks up as the ball is passed by him and all the way back to the goalkeeper, and he'll look now for support from Embleton to close down. Millwall have it wide on the left, played away, cleared away, and as Millwall start to commit more bodies forward, you get the feeling there will be more room here. Clark tried to find Sims with a headed pass, but it's picked up, and now Mitchell will get Millwall going down there. Right, here's Callum Stiles, cuts in, drives forward, looks for the give and go edge of the area, and the ball eased back by Alessa to the goalkeeper Patterson. It wasn't the greatest clearance, but it got it immediately away from danger. Although it could be coming back in here. Bradshaw looks for it. He's trying to work in an opening here. Little step over, puts in a cross. Patterson will come and collect it, and he falls to the floor. And Sunderland have got about 12 minutes plus added on time here on TalkSport 2. They lead Millwall by 2 goals to 0.
And this is where, from a Sunderland perspective, you have to start using that little bit of experience that you do have, is just slow the game down. Millwall are going to make Sunderland drop back into their own 18-yard area. This time Stiles with a right foot across into the box. I mean, this is where they've got to try and get Millwall down the flanks of Sunderland to cause problems to this back line. They've just got to try and get back into the game. No point chasing 2 goals within the space of a minute. It's not going to happen. But look for 1 goal, grow into the game if you can, because they're going to get chances. And when that does come, let's see a bit clinical. That's what we need from the forward players, because that's what they've been lacking in this match.
Well, it's Sunderland at the moment who've got the lead. Ball down the Millwall right. Cresswell will go all the way back to his goalkeeper. He said he'd got nowhere to go, and Long not particularly in a hurry here. I think he wants to knock it long, and that's what he's going to do. Bradshaw, to be fair, kept running all afternoon, but this one's more towards Stiles. Looked like it bounced off Stiles and out for a throw-in. Midway inside the Sunderland half, down the Sunderland left-hand side, and they're about to make another change. And I think it's Dennis Sirkin who's about to come on down below us. Tony Mowbray just giving him some last instructions. And who is it that's coming off? Is it Alessa? No, it's going to be Jack Clark who comes off, and maybe just signs that he wants to firm up Tony Mowbray this left-hand side. Clark's been decent today without being overly brilliant, but another solid performance from a young man who continues to learn his trade as well.
Now, absolutely. Player that broke onto the scene. Well, Leeds United, his opening season was absolutely incredible. He had a lot of people talking about him. Had a couple of little injuries and it didn't work for him, but he's certainly come to Sunderland and he's set the place alight with some really good performances. His goals and assists being absolutely key this season. And again, not the best of first halves, but I have to say, energy levels certainly improved in the second 45 minutes and had a really good performance. But you're right, Mark, now Sirkin comes on. I think Tony Mowbray's probably looked at the game and thought, let's just see it out. Let's just win this football match and start to climb up this table.
Good challenge from Sims. That deflects the ball to a Sunderland teammate on halfway. Millwall get back in and win it back. Wallace will play it up towards halfway. They'll come now forward down their left-hand side, and the ball now works its way to Cresswell. Cresswell comes forward. He's got McNamara glued to the touchline, but Sirkin is in, wins his first challenge, and he was being pulled back as well. Nice work from him. Just going back to Jack Clark, the one thing I will say about him, and we've seen him be brilliant for Sunderland, we've seen him be a little bit indifferent, Mickey, but he never hides for me. He always wants the ball, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I think if you remember that Middlesbrough game that we were just talking about, Mark, he didn't really have his best performance, but I think overall the work ethic is never too far away. He works his socks off, and you're right, in tight situations he'll try something special. If it doesn't come off, he doesn't think about it for too long.
Luke O'Neill just raced across there as Millwall tried to break down their left, and he smashed a clearance and it ricocheted off a Millwall player. Crowd over 37,000, just over 37,012 at the Stadium of Light. Credit to everyone that's turned out today. The Millwall bench is emptied over on the far side as Scott Malone will come on. He will replace Murray Wallace, so Scott Malone into the action on that far side. And the final change is Danny McNamara. He is coming off, and George Evans comes on. So Gary Rowett really has done all he can do now. He needs the players to improve and try and snatch something out of a game that at the moment they look highly likely to lose here on TalkSport 2. It's 2-0 to Sunderland, 2 quick fire goals in the second half.
It's always something that you have to think about as a manager. If you don't score a goal when you're on top in games, and certainly Gary Rowett and Millwall, who were the better side in the first half, must have been wondering, where's this performance? Where was the first 10 or 15 minutes? We didn't react when we came out for the second half. We let Sunderland get in behind us. That's why they created 2 really good opportunities and stuck the ball in the back of the net both times. But I still bet Gary Rowett and his players go away from this game, albeit a little bit disappointed, because it's a long journey for those supporters as well, Mark, what you mentioned before kick-off. And the players and the manager must be thinking to themselves, what a chance to get into 4th spot, and we've let it slip with 45 minutes of football. Yeah,
they have indeed. Millwall at home to Wigan next Saturday. Ball with Millwall though down there left-hand side as they look to switch the ball across the field. It's headed partially away, and Sunderland just happy to poke the ball out on the near side, and it'll beat Simpson out for a throw-in. And we've got just 7 minutes of the 90 remaining here. Not been too many stoppages as Shackleton will look to take the throw-in down below us. Looks for the ball back just inside the Sunderland half. Here now is Evans, gets it back to Cresswell, finds Cooper. They're trying to play their way out. They started on the right, now they're over on the left. There's movement in front of them. Can they find a ball into the box? They're working towards the edge of the penalty area now. It's laid back here. Fleming. Now Millwall will be regretting that opportunity he had in the first half when he shot wide with a goal pretty much at his mercy. Cross comes in from the far side, hooked away by Sunderland. Good defending. Millwall are trying to pen them in here. And as Mickey Gray said, if they can get one, then who knows what would happen. The mood would change here. Another ball in from the left, flicks off a Sunderland header, and it goes behind for a corner. It was Mason Bennett with a ball in. It was a decent ball in as well. Yeah, a lot of pace on it. Absolutely whipped it in there. Luke O'Neill on 2 occasions just cleared his lines. I think he got a little bit of good fortune with the second clearance, but second half defended absolutely brilliantly. Here's another in-swinging corner for Millwall towards the far post. Keeper stays at home, and it bounced off a number of bodies and eventually goes behind for a goal kick, but Patterson was made to stick in his own area there. He had nowhere to go and he got lucky. 2 centre-halves of Millwall coming up for that corner there. I think it fell to Cresswell yet again, who's the smaller of the 2 centre-halves. I think probably hoping that one of them actually falls to Jake Cooper. Cresswell, he must have got some contact on it. He must have come off one of his own teammates and gone out for this goal kick. And again, it's Sunderland now just taking their time, ticking off with these seconds till they get to that final whistle. Can't say it's offered City a 3-0 up at Gillingham. Here it's 2-0 in favour of Sunderland. A good day for Manchester United women. They're 4-0 up against Aston Villa in their game. AFC Wimbledon lead Grimsby by 1-0. Ethan Chislett with a goal on the hour mark there. There's a ball inside Millwall's half, and again they go back to Long, and Long will look to clear it downfield. Millwall will be really disappointed with this. They created a couple of good chances. Bradshaw thought he'd scored when he headed over the advancing Patterson first half, only to see it cleared off the line, and then after Patterson's error, a really big chance was Ian Fleming, and he couldn't hit the target. And now Sunderland are looking out on this near side with Sims over the halfway line to put this one to bed. He drives forward now, but Cresswell stands up and defends well, and it's out for a throw-in on this near touchline.
Good defending there from Cresswell. Sims, ever willing to run into those corners, works hard for the team. Not really been involved in the game too much today, I have to say, but when he has been called upon, just taking a breather for his team there. Another throw in again. It's all about these seconds, just ticking them away, trying to get to 90 minutes and holding on to this 2-goal deficit.
Here's Sims, lays it off. Can't tell you it's Derby 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0, MK Dons 1, Burton 1. Shrewsbury 2-0 up against Lincoln. Forest Green lead Cambridge by 1-0. That's in the early starts in League 1. And in League 2, Bradford 3-0 down now at Leyton Orient. Carlisle 1, Sutton 1 is the latest score as well. Ball works into the feet of Sims now. Back to goal, 30 yards out. Looks to spread it wide on the Sunderland right-hand side. Forward they come now, but decent defending in the end there over on that far side. They'll work their way forward and looking to get it away. Fleming now finds Bradshaw on the edge of the area, tries to go down on the outside, drives one across to the far post. He's pulled back into the 6-yard box and turned behind for a corner kick.
Well, again, it's Millwall. It's a great play, I have to say, from Fleming. He was the man working back for his own team in his own half. He plays a lovely diagonal pass out to Tom Bradshaw, who puts a great ball into the air, and I think it's Callum Sykes just tries to pull that ball back into the 6 area. Brilliant play from Millwall.
Corner for Millwall then. Can they make this one count? Ball into the 6-yard box, headed away. It'll fall 20 yards out on the volley, and it's straight at the keeper from Billy Mitchell. If that had been either side of the goalkeeper, he'd have had work to do, but it was straight at Patterson, who handled it nicely. 2 minutes of the 90 remaining here. Sunderland 2, Millwall 0.
Again, great play. Lovely ball to the edge of the area. Billy Mitchell there does everything right. Got his body over the ball. Gets a lot of pace on that strike, but it was simple in the end for Anthony Patterson. It was just in the perfect place, wasn't he? Straight down the throat.
As indeed. As a ball now again goes back to Long, who's rather worrying for Millwall. He's probably seen as much of it as Patterson has at the other end.
Yeah, he has, and at the moment they're playing around at the back, Mark, and they really need to get this ball forward, Millwall.
Yeah, remember this win for Sunderland would lift them up to 10th, but only 1 point off the playoffs. We say every year about how congested this championship table gets, and this in effect is a game in hand for Sunderland, so they're not going to have played a game more than those above them or around them. Only Coventry would have a couple of games in hand, and that's because they had all those cancellations at the start of the season, so they're in good position. There's a ball played out wide on the Millwall left. First time ball in, and Patterson was brave, and in the end bundles into his own teammate. But he did what he had to do, and he come and collected, and O'Nien is up on his feet, and Patterson will join him as well.
And the referee's just going across, Tim Robinson is just having a word with Anthony Patterson, just to say, look, you need to get on with things, because Millwall now, they're in the ascendancy, but without really having that clinical opportunity. I'm just having a look at that table, Mark, and you talk about having a game in hand for Sunderland, who started today in 15th. They jump up to 10th, a point behind Millwall, level on games now. It's so condensed, the championship. If you can get on a bit of a run, doesn't half shoot you up that table.
Well, it does. I mean, there's only 8 points between the team in the bottom 3, Wigan, and the top 6. A good week in the championship, you can halve that deficit. 5 added on minutes, much to the disbelief of the Sunderland public here. Probably 36,500 of them. Hang on, we're not watching the World Cup again, are we?
Well, I think it's something that's certainly going to grow into the game in the Premier League and the Championship, because if you think about it, it does make sense. The amount of time you can waste with throw-ins and taking your time with free kicks. And things like, taking your time like Anthony Patterson just being on the ground there for 10 or 15 seconds, it can add a minute onto the game at the end when players are tired, your brains are switching off a little bit. Those final 5 extra minutes, they can really cause a problem to teams.
Strong tackle there, but the ball breaks here and it's played wide on the Millwall left. Nicked away initially, it'll fall to Cooper. He wanted to give and go edge of the area. He might get it back here. Chance to drill the cross in. And again, it's blocked away. Mason Bennett has had an impact off the bench, but it's only another corner for Millwall. They've had plenty of these in the last few minutes, but they can't yet get one past Patterson in the Sunderland goal. We're into the 5 added on. And it's Sunderland who lead by 2-0. 90 seconds played of that additional time. Ball going to be swung in again from the far side towards the 6-yard box. It's headed up in the air by Danny Bart. It'll fall edge of the area. Mitchell had a touch, gets it away. Fleming tried to poke it in. Needs a little bit more than that at this stage. Sunderland can't quite clear their lines. They will now. Got the ball left hand side of the penalty area and just roll it down the touchline. And they'll hold up play, and they should play their way nicely out of trouble here, and in the end they'll knock it long, not to anyone in particular, but ekes another couple of seconds out of the game. And now Creswell has it at the back, he gets it away. They'll go to that left hand side again. It's been a bit of an outlet for them over on that far side. Can they work another cross out from deep? Ball laid back here, first time ball swung in left footed, stands up, Patterson comes to collect it. And Patterson does collect it, much to the approval of the fans and a few of the Sunderland fans. In fact, quite a lot of empty seats now around us, Mickey. Maybe they're all going home to listen to the game on TalkSport and the World Cup that kicks off at 3 over on TalkSport.
I need to go for a warm. That's probably what they're doing. But Millwall have made those substitutes, and I have to say there's a few of them have definitely made an impact. Bennett, who you mentioned before, I think Scott Malone has come over on that left-hand side, put some decent corners and crosses into the box.
Long ball forward, Sims is in on it. He's knocked it past the keeper. Chance for 3-0. 3 goals for Sunderland. 3 points for Sunderland. And Sims, who's worked his socks off now, has got on the end of a long Patterson clearance. He nudged it over long, kept his composure, and Sunderland fans will be going home happy. The Black Cats 1 point off the playoffs. Sunderland 3, Millwall 0.
It always seems to be the case, doesn't it, when you're pushing so many players forward. It's a long punt upfield, and Ellis Sims, we said, look, he will work his socks off, never mind if he's involved in the game or if he's not involved in the game. He never stops running, and he's got his just rewards. It's a one-on-one with a goalkeeper. He gets the better of him, just slips it round him, and then he's just got the simple tap in to put the ball into the back of the net, and he's got his just rewards. Hasn't been the best performance from the centre forward, he'll probably admit that, but just rewards are putting the ball in the back of the net, and he will walk away from the stadium like thrilled to pieces. What a big win this is for Sunderland.
5 in 14 for Sims. He's had a few injuries and bumps of his own so far. Millwall are trying to get a late consolation. It would be only that, but I just think as a Sunderland fan, and I'm sure when we hear from Tony Mowbray later on, that I just think when your centre forward scores and you have a big win, I think that just tops the day off nicely, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. He'd be thrilled to pieces, not just for Ellis Sims, but he's just came back into the team over the last few weeks, Mark. He's had that little break in Dubai, which I'm sure has freshened him up as well. And it's so big for the confidence, isn't it, when you've got centre forwards who are scoring goals and everybody else is pitching in.
Millwall might get a chance here. Patterson saves it. There were 2 players sliding in front of him. It was a curled cross to the far post. 2 blue shirts ran in front of him, and Patterson just held his ground. I think he cleared it away with his knees. Now a bending shot comes in, and it is straight at Patterson, who this time makes a more routine save. Time added on time is almost up here. Well, it was a pretty stodgy first half. It was all level at the break, but once Diallo took Sunderland in front of 53, courtesy of Pritchard's run and Ellis with a flick, then Pritchard scored the second after nice work from Gooch down the right, and then the icing on the cake, Ellis Sims with the goal after he got it past and over long and tucked it in. The full-time whistle goes here at the Stadium of Light. Well, for a large part of it, Sunderland weren't great, but second half they turned on the style and fully deserved their 3 points. Tony Mowbray's side get a much-needed win at home, for Gary Rowett He'll be scratching his head after this one. His side had chances in the first half, but didn't take them. They were made to pay in the second. It's all smiles in front of a bumper crowd of 37,000 plus at the Stadium of Light, and it's they who will be going home happy. Sunderland 3, Millwall 0.